All right, welcome back, 7th grade accelerated group. So I know you guys are all looking forward to your vacations, such as I am for sure. And from this vacation, you guys are going to get a little bit of holiday homework during Thanksgiving. You can thank me when you come back. So I didn't want you guys to forget anything. And this is graphing inequalities with one variable. And of course, you have to go ahead and use the same steps that you did when you guys were isolating a variable when you solved a multi-step equation. This was something called the distributive property. And in the distributive property, we had to take our -4 and we had to multiply -4 2 times. We had to multiply -4, of course, by 2m. So we're going to multiply it right there by 2m. And we had to multiply -4 by that 5. So you treat this minus sign here like it's a negative. Now, a lot of people, they're like, well, Mr. Gonzalez, can't I just use this minus sign and multiply the 5? Yeah, but in the end, isn't a negative times a negative going to give you a positive? Of course it is. And when you subtract the negative number, you're still going to get a positive. So really, you're going to get positive 20 no matter what you do. Well, this right here is going to turn into plus 20. And of course, you're going to get -8m. And this should be greater than -4. Now, here's where you're going to have to use your steps that you guys were using when you isolated a variable. Whenever you were isolating a variable, you had to go ahead and take away 20 and take away 20 to balance the inequality. And this would give you 0 when you take away 20 from 20. Well, this is going to give you -8 times the number m has to be greater than -24. Now, here's what a lot of us forget, okay? And here's where you can't forget this. Whenever you multiply or divide by this negative number on both sides of the inequality, see, it's not when you add or subtract a negative number, it's only when you multiply or divide a negative number on both sides of the inequality. This inequality switches directions. It used to be that the left side was larger. Now the right side is going to be larger. And this variable m has to be less than 3. Well, if it has to be less than 3, I'm going to put an open circle, not a solid closed circle on top of 3. And if this had an equal sign underneath it, I would color this circle in and make it a solid closed circle. Well, give me some numbers that are less than 3. Well, that would be 2, 1, 0, -1, and I shaded in all the way up to the arrow tip. Well, I just didn't want you guys to forget any of these special rules, but I want you guys to prove to yourself that this is really true. If we take this number -1, and we actually say, okay, let me take this -1, and let me substitute it in right here. What's -1 times 2? -1 times 2, that's going to give you -2. And -2 take away 5. If I multiply this by -4, this should be greater than -4. See, this should be greater than -4. This is how you check your answer. This is how you check to see if all these numbers are correct. Well, let's see. Isn't -2 take away -5, -7? And -7 times -4, well, a negative times a negative is always a positive. So 28 is definitely greater than -4. That's how you check your answer, and you're right. You guys have a good time doing this homework. No, I'm just kidding with you guys. Happy holidays.